due to this quote-unquote ceasefire, it's like we cease and they fire. Because of that, I'm here in the Galilean city of Tiberias. These are the ancient Tiberias rocks. And I'm on standby to be back into either Gaza or Lebanon at a moment's notice. And so I get to see my family for a little bit. And I saw, like, just recently, so many strikes from Hezbollah. The bus station in Kiryat Shmona, have you ever been up there? Blown up. Bombs going off through the night. Of course, we're also retaliating, striking back. But I'm telling you what, the Lebanese army is moving in. They're moving into all kinds of areas that we were in, taking up positions, and they're trying to switch kind of over. The plan is that they would switch us in the areas that we cleanse from the Hezbollah. I don't think it's going to happen that way, though. I don't think it's going to be smooth. They're hoping it will be. At the same time, some countries are responding to this arrest warrants for Netanyahu, and you have this mentioning of the United States says anyone who wants to side with the ICC Kangaroo Criminal Court, I mean, they're dereliction of duty, really, acting like they're doing the right thing, sanctioning the country that's trying to defend ourselves against brutal terror. They should think twice where they want to be. Right during all this, there's a giant plot to all these RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, missiles, mortar shells were all intended for terrorists in Judea and Samaria. And Shin Bet, our security service, was able to thwart that. But so right now is what's happening is everyone's talking about this ceasefire with a terrorist group. Is it just the worst mistake to do? Is it premature? Are we under too much pressure? Is it really going to let the northern residents return to their homes? These are great questions. Will Hezbollah really stay out of the areas they're supposed to stay out of and stay behind the Litani River, according to the UN resolution 1701? So Hezbollah and other armed groups are supposed to, according to what's agreed, from what I understood is agreed. Netanyahu said he's willing to agree to this, and our higher-ups voted 10-1 that they agree to. Hezbollah and other armed groups have to not shoot at us anymore. Number 2, Israel in turn will not conduct any offensive military actions against terrorist targets in the Lebanon ground, from ground, air, or sea. Number 3, both sides are going to recognize the importance of implementing 1701 security resolution. That means they have to go beyond the Litani River, 40 kilometers in, and not be operating right on our heads here. Number 4, the agreement doesn't change the right of Israel and Lebanon to defend ourselves, and as long as we're doing everything according to the agreed upon things in international law. Number 5, only the official security forces and the armed forces of Lebanon have the right to bear arms and use force. So no terrorists are allowed to be terrorists in southern Lebanon. Number 6, any rearming, sale, or supply of production of weapons on Lebanese territory has to be controlled by the Lebanese army and the Lebanese government, not by the Hezbollah terrorists who want to invade the Galilee and kill my family. Can't do it. Number 7, unauthorized facilities related to the production of weapons and ammunition are subject to mandatory dismantling. They got to dismantle themselves. Will they do that? Let's hope so. All military infrastructure and positions that don't comply with the terms of the agreement will be dismantled, and unauthorized weapons will be confiscated. A joint committee with the United States will be able to monitor this stuff, this agreement. Israel and Lebanon will report to the committee and the UN peacekeeping force any suspected violations. I'm kind of wondering, is this going to work? I think everybody's wondering, is this going to actually be real? It says Lebanon will deploy security forces on the borders, make sure Hezbollah won't come back, and Israel within 60 days will no longer be there. Pack up, it's just pack up time. So if I want to go help with the pack up, I can go back to Lebanon the next 60 days. Otherwise, we're going to start to leave, we're beginning to leave all the positions. And the United States will facilitate indirect talks to make sure the border is recognized, and people are all getting ready for Trump's, cabinet. Will he make sure that things are safe? We've got to believe that God is our protector. We got to continue to hold on to the fact that God is our shelter. Do you remember this place here? The bomb shelter? It's done. You saw the different stages of it. And, there's the artist right there. The artist. Justin, the actual artist of this. You're telling me with these fingers, you literally painted this whole thing. Shalom, Justin.
Here it is, guys.
Wow.
Finished product.
In the heart of Tiberias, this is a central city in the middle of the Galilee, really the hub of the whole northern Galilee place. And I know that people have needed bomb shelters because of bombs. And I know you hear sirens all the time here. Have you heard any sirens yourself?
I've definitely heard sirens while I'm in Israel. Plenty of them. I've heard explosions. I've had to duck for cover. I've had to run for cover. I've had to hide in bomb shelters. I've been woken up in the middle of the night and on and on. But thankfully not here in Tiberias. But in all the other parts of Israel I've been, I've got stories to tell. So these things are very necessary.
Yeah, and so a bomb shelter is a place that you could take shelter from. And I want to jump right to this verse right here. Shamarti, guarded, the guardian of Israel, Shamarti, protected. The exact translation is found in, what is it, Psalms
16:1.
Chapter 16, Tetzain, verse 1. Shamarti el. So it's like God is going to, and I want to look at the exact Psalm 16, verse 1. I'll read it in English. A prayer of David, our former prime minister back in the day. You know, a prayer of David, protect me, O God, for I have taken shelter in you. Wow, that'll keep, it won't get damaged by the rain. It started to rain. And I love how it says it in Hebrew, Mirchav Mugan, protected area. And so I see that you have been working on this for how long, if I can just get on this side of you? Ask,
so I worked on this for probably around 2.5 to 3 weeks. I mean, obviously we don't work on Shabbat, so you have to honor that and the weekend and everything. So it's around 2.5, 3 weeks. And I can take you through the journey of this experience.
Yes, and even what caused you to want to be here in this time of war.
Yeah.
And what moved inside your heart, and you got the tag there, to the hostages, still that they come home.
Well, as you know, I was here in October 7, so I was radically affected by what happened here. I mean, I've been traveling to Israel for almost 20 years, like since 2005. I've been coming here. My stepfather's Jewish. I'm associated with the people of faith, as most of you know. Fell in love with the country, the people. Israel's a cool space. In the Middle East, it's a cool space. But it has a plan from God over it to be the light of the nations.
That's right. Ooh.
Light. Speaking of light.
Ooh. Reveal, the big reveal. That is, and you know my favorite, do you know that all the Galileans' favorite verse is actually, that is so artistic, if I can say. That is hard to do. Are you like a professionally trained artist? That is
a little bit of my story. And this might blow people away. It seems to happen all the time, but I've never studied art in my life.
Wow.
Never studied art, never trained art, never had art lessons. It's truly just a gift from God. And I don't even know. So part of the journey of this experience, we'll get on that. Yes, what moved me to come to Israel? Well, I wanted to come here for Sukkot, just because I have a lot of friends here and I love the Feast of Tabernacles. It's a beautiful Feast of Booths. It's a beautiful time to come together, and it's, you know, if you know about tabernacling with God, what better way to do it than with people?
That's right.
So, and be in the land of Israel. So of course I wanted to come here. But while I was here, one night I was having dinner with some friends in Tiberias. I walked past one of these mamad, one of these singular bomb shelters. And it was all white, and it was just from across the street. It wasn't this one; it was another one. It was just crying out to me for some color. As an artist, you see things before you see them. It's like it just was crying to me. So I reached out to a good friend.
Yeah.
And I said, how would I be able to possibly paint one of these?
Right.
And so this amazing friend of mine, who knows other amazing people in this city.
Oh, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was able to get me authorized permission to paint this bomb shelter. And so the journey begins. And what was my inspiration and what to paint? Well, first of all, I was here in October 7.
Right.
And so I went through that whole experience with this nation. And I understand that most of the world has no idea what's going on here. And they're trying to really...
All the way to that, yeah.
They're all trying to slap Israel, hurt Israel, but there's a truth that's going on here that's actually more relevant, it's bigger. Right. And what these people need right now is they need support.
Yes.
They need people to come alongside them and lift their spirits. There's a lot of suffering here.
Yes.
Soldiers are dying in battle, leaving whole families behind.
Yeah.
You know, widows and orphans, and it's painful. So I wanted to come here just to celebrate my faith and my people and love God, but at the same time, this was a cry to use whatever I had in my hands to help lift the spirits.
And I know that you were here on October 7th, and I was here on October 7th, and I remember the bomb shelters where people were massacred, you know, where it was just, the bombs were falling, and if only there was more bomb shelters, if there was only more protection, if there was only now a protection of our hearts, because our hearts are hurting. And that verse is so heartwarming. chasiti becha. Chasiti, like I have protected you. God is the protector of Israel.
Ultimately.
And going back to that verse about light, is that I stand on that, us Galileans stand on Isaiah chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. In Hebrew, I guess it's the end of chapter 8. And you have this, the light has touched upon them. It says the land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, the place that sat in darkness, sat in contempt. God will honor it in the future. God will honor it by way of the Sea of Galilee.
Amen.
By way of the Jordan.
Amen.
The Galilee of the nations. The light has upon you the light is shown, or in Hebrew it says the light has touched upon you.
That's right here.
Yes.
That's right here.
Yes.
So, I mean, guys, what inspired you to paint what you painted? Well, obviously I wanted to come here, and my one agenda was to use my gifts, because God gives us gifts, and I wanted to take what was in my hands and give it to the nation of Israel and show my solidarity and lift the spirits. That's all I wanted to do, was lift their spirits, to know that God can still see. His hand is still working within this situation to those who want to cooperate, and he's still protector. And so look, I didn't know I had no idea what I was going to paint going into this.
Just beautiful.
But what came to mind was, you know what? This is the promised land.
Right.
This is a beautiful space. It's been promised all through the scriptures that it would be fruitful and beautiful, and it would nourish the life of an individual living here.
Yes.
It would minister to the soul. So I went nuts with with color, and
just gorgeous.
Basically, this is what it looks like in its prime, you know. So if you want, I'll take you on a little journey.
Yeah. And before we end, I also want to ask, did anybody see this, and what was their reaction?
Wow, okay.
Before we end.
Really good question.
And then I want to also ask, how can people sow into this? I want that before we end this.
Oh, yeah.
Please
we'll
tell us that too.
So the amazing thing that happened every single day that I was here is that I was literally stopped all day long by people.
Right downtown
To Tiberias. We're right on the main road here, but I was stopped by everybody that you could possibly think of. I was given freebies by people giving me drinks and coffees and inviting me to their home. But most of all, people came up and just said, wow, where are you from? Why are you doing this? And of course, I had to converse through either broken English or broken Hebrew.
Right.
But everyone basically came in, and the desire to lift people's spirit was met. People came here and celebrated the fact that someone was doing something for free.
Wow.
And just basically pouring out love. I had one woman, she was so affected, and she said to me, oh my goodness, she said, if the alarms ever go off here, I feel like I'm going to be running, dancing, and singing into this bomb shelter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, rather than running terrified from something that could kill you, it was lifting their spirit. It may sound simple, but the smallest nuance of color, light, and actually
lifts the spirit.
The spirit of giving, the love, this true essence, this invisible but made visible love, is the very thing that's going to get us forward.
Let me ask you this, and then we're going to end. There's a lot of bomb shelters. I mean, there's 40 right up that way. There's another 20 right over. This whole country has a lot of kind of bleak bomb shelters, and you think of death, really. Here I don't. And I think of God, and I think of God's protection when I'm here, and the joy, and hey, have music playing out here, you know.
Come on.
Where could people go to sow into this, just to get your bills paid, so you can keep on doing this?
I mean, listen, since this opened up, this opportunity, I've had so many opportunities to do further art projects in Israel, but mainly I've been invited to, like, all over Israel to invest in exactly what I've done here times 40. I've had over 40 bomb shelters put at my feet, and people of various areas are saying, will you come and paint these as well? So, oh my goodness, what an opportunity for any artist.
All right.
I'm going to be here this particular year for another month. I've got one more month being here, and then I'm going to go back to Australia, and then I'm going to come back again to continue this project. So I'm just going to make an appeal. If anyone wants to support this project and support what God is really doing with me, I'm one-man band at the moment, and I might get more artists along. But if anyone wants to support
teams of artists,
like things are happening here. I've got a fund that I set up on my my website, because I have a website.
I'll put the link right here at the bottom. You just look at the little link.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to contribute to the fund,
right there,
you will be supporting me multiplying this all over the nation of Israel, which will be affecting the people and reminding them that you and I are standing with this country in the most difficult season.
Yes.
And bringing the love of God, the faith of God, the hope of God through art and through my personal interactions
Love it.
So
And let me just show you where you can see other art of his. Right there. That's Justin Andrew Hook on Facebook and on Instagram. JustinAndrewHook.com. Well, God bless you, man. Thank you for the work you do. You're a
we
real
did it,
friend.
guys. We did it. Thank you to
It's
all
done.
my supporters already. Thank you for this beautiful man.
God bless you.
Bless you guys from Tiberias.